Welcome to Monday's Loose Mandem with Kamaar Brown featuring Jacky Ling, Joshua Gray and Solomon Gordon.
Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Loose Mandem. It's so great to have your company on today's show. Right, coming up in the next 40 minutes, we will be discussing the latest music news, all things social media, and towards the end of the show, we will be playing a game of Loose Mandem does charades. So sit back, grab something to eat or drink, because that's today's Loose Mandem. Now, in recent music news, Lil Nas X has been causing quite a commotion over the internet scene following the release of his new single Call Me By Your Name. The music video for that song has been quite controversial among viewers commenting on religious and sexuality sides of the video. He has also released new shoes that apparently contain human blood and has a pentagram. So the question of the day is, do you think Lil Nas X went too far with his music video and his trainers? Jacky, what do you think about that?
Personally, I just think it's just a brilliant marketing scheme at the end of the day, because that's what you want. When you want to sell a product, you want to create some sort of controversy around it, and then basically, even without people knowing about it, such as your parents, they'll even hear about it just from you talking about it, because about how much controversy it stirs, because it touches on religion, it touches on hip hop culture as well, and basically in the video, he was giving the devil, in the video, a lap dance, and it's quite very, not very mature in a way. So personally, I think the video should have been age restricted at some point, but at the end of the day, it isn't really something to be taken that seriously, because it's like the theme devil in itself in the music video. It's been done many times before through metal bands, for instance. They've been doing it for decades, and I think the reason why it's been such controversy, like as you said, Kamaar, is because in terms of hip hop culture and rap, it's not really that much that prevalent for devils and stuff in the making. But I think in the couple of years, Machine Gun Kelly, he's made a music video called The Rap Devil, and people haven't really been as vocal about it. But in terms of the Lil Nas one, I think it's just the fact that it's Lil Nas and people want to create some sort of drama out of nothing.
You made some great points, Jacky. So what do you think?
Typically, when first seeing the video, it was quite confusing at first, because it was like, I didn't know the context around it, and all I saw was him giving a lap dance to the devil. And I was like,
questionable.
It was quite questionable. Like, what's going on? Obviously, like doing further research, I realized that it was in response to a lot of people saying that you won't go to heaven because you're gay, etc.
Oh yeah, he was
exactly right.
He was one of the first prominent rappers that's vocally said that he's gay, and I think it was a massive thing for the LGBT community as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I get the message, I really do, but I don't like the execution, only because it's because there are little kids.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm like, it's they should have like age restricted it if that was the case.
Yeah.
2, I didn't like it because now it's, again, I know knowing the context, I can understand, but it's now kind of put this thing where you've now associated homosexuality with like the devil and hell, etc.
Right.
So that's, you kind of achieved something that you didn't want to do, but then you've now said, I get it, because you're owning who you are. That's fine. I can get that, but you've ultimately kind of shot yourself in the foot, because now more people are going to see that, okay, so because you believe in, because you're gay, that means now, you believe in the devil. Now you have to like follow the devil worship, etc., etc. Especially for young minds who don't really have a full grasp on that. That's what they might think.
I got it.
Which is unfortunate, but ultimately it is against with like the idea and execution. Like again, I get the idea what it's coming from, but ultimately the execution is quite and the shoes, I don't know, it was a bit odd. I mean, yeah, it's quite a good marketing scheme.
Yeah, I think it's business quite good.
But ultimately, I think Nike did sue.
Yeah, they did.
Because
they won it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read about that as well.
Yeah.
But doesn't that in turn create more controversy then? That's
yeah, because obviously it's not. I'm gonna say this about Nike later, but yeah, because Nike didn't make it, it was a modified Nike, but he used that saying that it was Nike, so basically it's frauding them.
Well,
I mean, the main
Just
problem, to do with the whole song and music video, I mean, I don't really think that's where the biggest controversy is to do with it. I mean, Jacky, you compared it to whose song was it? Rap Devil.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly's Rap Devil, but that's completely different because Rap Devil was a diss track to Eminem, who obviously released a song called Rap God, so that was more of a dig at that. But I think it's more to do, the shoe was like the bigger controversy, and the entire lawsuit around that was actually quite interesting because you had Lil Nas and I think it was Mischief who made the
that's right,
Mischief who were kind of arguing that because only 666 shoes were made, they were more pieces of art and each were numbered. They were more pieces of art, whereas I mean Nike obviously has had a lot of bad press off of it. And I mean I've seen posts where it's like Nike have released a devil shoe with a drop of human blood in, and it's like obviously it's bad press for Nike and saying that they'll never buy Nike shoes again. So obviously you can see where Nike are coming from about it. And I mean Nike had full rights and like kind of a responsibility for their brand to kind of try to distance themselves. And I think they did quite well in also getting the shoes, getting it so the shoes can't even be shipped out to the people who have bought them.
Yeah. In the last 2 minutes, I want to just, you know, if you at home don't know what we're on about, the music video received 69 million views on YouTube, and the video features a rapper sliding down a pole to hell before giving the devil a lap dance. And this is from The Guardian. He written a note to his younger self that this will open doors for many queer people, and Joy Lucas criticised for releasing the new music video to inappropriate content because he didn't put a disclaimer on that video, didn't he? So you know, he's got younger fans, and if they watch that video and and they ask someone, oh look at this, what is he doing? He should have put that disclaimer, which I agree with you a lot. And the trainers contained 1 drop of human blood, and the judge has blocked the manufacturer's shipping of 66 shoes by Nike. Was it 66 or 666 shoes by Nike?
But I mean, people are still wearing them because Miley Cyrus has been caught wearing a prototype of them.
Really?
In public. Yeah, I think it was anyway. But someone's been caught wearing a prototype of them. But I mean, like the 1 drop of blood, which is like the biggest problem people have seen with it. I mean, it's more like they got that like from them somewhat to do with mystery. They got like 1 drop of blood donated from a bunch of different people. But that was more just for like, I do feel like because it's also in like because it's been put in like the air bubble in the Nike shoe. That's really just it's 1 drop of blood in like already like red liquid because they filled it with red liquid, I think. So it's like there was that is purely just for marketing. That is purely just a marketing stunt, the drop of blood,
but
because you can't even tell.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's just the paparazzis. They just want the fact that there's a human blood. As long as it's one, it doesn't matter how many there is.
They
can use that as a headline.
One drop of human blood will get in a shoe, will get loads of like clicks and stuff. It's like that has been purely done for clickbait.
It really has.
Because there is it is completely useless it being in there. You could see one with it in and one without it in, and you would not be able to tell the difference between the shoes.
Yeah, I understand, and I know what he was trying to say about his gay rights and stuff, but like I think the devil one got me the most. When he was doing the lap dance, and I'm thinking, Yeah, the devil is, but if you were Christian like me and Solomon, you would know the devil's bad. You know, you go to heaven if you're good. But yeah, it just
It's odd because at the end of the day, I mean, it's not just like who Christians who say they're straight. It's fine, but I mean, for the LGBTQ who have religious beliefs, they will probably have a problem with this as well because now that if you have a video that again associates being part of the LGBTQ with hell and the devil, which is again my biggest problem with it, because it's like, well, again, I get the message. You're trying to say you own your sexuality, you own who you are, you own your identity. That's fine. That's totally fine. But the execution of it totally undermines that message now, because more people, because unfortunately the majority of it are saying this is bad. Why have you done this?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't agree with how, you know. I mean, I think he was I think I was trolling. He was saying something like he was did a fake apology video.
Yeah, and it links back to the Montero.
Which is clever. Which is clever. I'm not gonna lie, but ultimately it's like a big smack into the face to people who do actually like think it's a bad idea. Who maybe are fans of him, but you know, don't like the video and stuff like that.
Well, thanks guys for that. But moving on from that debate, Meek Mills and Vanessa Brent have been in the news in the months just gone about a lyric Meek uploaded relating to Kobe Bryant, who tragically died. So the question is Meek Mills' lyric towards Kobe Bryant and his family insensitive or not, Solomon?
I mean, as much research I've done, I've seen very little to no history between Kobe and Meek Mill. Very little. There's no. So I don't believe it's like a direct diss to him. I think it was just a stupid lyric.
Well, if you guys don't know what we're on about, the lyric was, "If I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It'll be another Kobe," and that's just disrespectful.
It is disrespectful. I mean, it was probably around about a year around that time when he died.
Yeah, 26th of January 2020, Kobe Bryant died with his daughter and 7 others in a helicopter crash.
So it was just a stupid lyric. I mean, it's when writing lyrics, it's like, okay, you have to be creative, or you have to like, sometimes you have to try and find something that rhymes, or I mean, he just did that to sound clever, but really it was just a dumb lyric.
Yeah, definitely.
At the end of the day.
Vanessa said the line was extremely insensitive and disrespectful, and he's not familiar with any of his music, but you know, I believe he can do better with Vanessa. Josh, what do you think?
I mean,
Vanessa's reply to.
I mean, she's completely like her reply was completely like justified and all that. And the lyric in general, I think it was just him trying to be clever, with a clever bit of like wordplay and referencing, but it's just the backlash and like the I think you should have had another look at it, because looking back in retrospective, it's like it's just stupid.
Yeah, because the track got leaked, it wasn't really out there. So do you think that, you know, his people were working with this, you know, the music or the song that they were creating, and then got onto social media, Jacky, and just told the world what that lyric said about Kobe?
Yeah, as you said before, it's been leaked, so I had a feeling that they might have not gone through with this, but since it was a leak, people obviously weren't happy about it, especially Vanessa when she replied to Meek Mill saying that it was really disrespectful. Mm-hmm. However, I think at the end of the day, as much as disrespectful it is, obviously I'm playing a bit of a devil's advocate, but like at the end of it, it's freedom of speech. Censorship.
Yeah, but sometimes freedom of speech can be, you know, very insensitive like that. You get what I mean?
I mean,
yeah,
like,
right.
If he went to Vanessa and said, I'm doing a music, you know, song. Can I, you know, relate your husband into that? But he didn't, and that's, you know, disrespectful. I think he should have went to her, and even if he said no, you know, that would be, you know.
Yeah. I get what I mean, yeah.
But I mean, he apologised. He's apologised in private, which means that he basically just knew it was a stupid lyric.
Yeah, as Josh said, he tried to play around with it funnily, but the thing is, when you when I think Meek Mills, when he raps and uses it in like a lyric or even says it in a slightly more aggressive way, it sounds very like you said, disrespectful. Whereas if that lyric was in a more, I don't know, country pop, I don't know, something like that, it wouldn't be as necessarily bad received, if you know what I mean.
I think it would be the same because what do you think, Solomon?
Well, ultimately, it's like it is quite similar to the Little Nas thing because it's like, you know, it probably did it just to, I mean, subconsciously it might have done it just to get, you know, more views on that song, but ultimately, it didn't actually like get released. It got
exactly.
leaked. But, you know, if it was, let's say that lyric was put into another genre, obviously altered because, you know, it still probably would get a lot of hit. I would say that because...
But not like a diss at Kobe, but like, you know, something to show his love.
If it was to like...
I don't think that was a diss in the first place towards him.
I don't know, but he said that if I were going to go out like, you know, if I were going to die in a helicopter, I would die like Kobe.
Yeah, because,
you can't really...
But I mean, he did die in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, but you mention it in like a really, what do you call it? A way where I don't think it's just appropriate, if you know what I mean.
I know, but I don't, I'm almost certain that he did not mean to diss Kobe.
Like I said, yeah, because there's no reason for him to show any hate, at least what we know. There's no reason to hate Kobe at the end of the day with him at all, because, you know, they have very little to no history between them.
Yeah.
But it's like they've got this again. It was almost a year since he died, and obviously and Kobe's extremely famous. Still is, to be honest with you. And you know, people were still feeling the aftershock of it, especially after 2020, which was a very
disastrous. There's even a movie called Death to 2020. Have you seen it on Netflix?
I haven't.
Yeah, do I recommend that?
I'll try and watch it because, the struggle is real. Just saying that, but no, but it's a thing where you can't just say that he was totally innocent in it because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
For him to actually put it in the song, because again, when you're in the studio and you're writing lyrics, it takes quite a long time, and then when obviously producing it and then actually laying it down on the track, it takes a long time. So he would have heard that lyric over and over and
As
over
Josh
again.
said, he's trying to be funny with it, I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he was trying to be funny.
I
think he was trying to be clever and make a reference to something.
Yeah.
But he's evidently done it too close. Because I feel like lyrics like that have worked in the past.
Are they?
Yeah. There's definitely songs out there where you can find lyrics like that which haven't caused anywhere near as much of an uproar. But I mean, it's the fact that it's a year after he's died, and it just a bit stupid, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all think it's insensitive, don't we?
Yeah.
That is
right
it for our latest music discussion. But please stay tuned, because after the break, we'll be discussing our social media debate, and we will be playing a game of Loose Mandem Does Charades. See you after the break. so stay tuned to that because it will be a laugh. But first, in recent years, social media has become more prevalent and it has come to a point people of all ages have a social media account. So it raises the question, has social media damaged our society? Jacky, what do you think about that?
I don't know, because simply because social media, it's quite a broad bracket now. And there's many other uses for social media. There's business uses, there's, without social media, I wouldn't be able to contact my grandma all the way in, Japan or something.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that makes my life a lot more convenient. So much with many other people that I believe. So I feel like social media, in terms of damages, I feel like it's done more good than harm. But yeah. I believe it's because there's a lack of regulation in terms of this AI area or the tech area. Because as I read the book in Life 3.0, they talk about how advances in AI or technology, the laws that regulate it isn't fast enough to keep up. Have you heard about the I Love You? I think it's called I Love You malware. No. It was a massive virus basically. They created it in the Philippines and people lost a lot of money, and I mean a lot by $300 million worth of money. So, and obviously they didn't get penalised for it because there was no laws about computer fraud and stuff. But that was in the early 2000s. But even now, I believe with how quickly social media is growing and how tech companies are using AI to really push their products forward, I feel like there just need more regulation. And I feel like with more regulation, it's easier for companies, to do the right thing, if you know what I mean. So what governments can do is stray them towards the correct path and encourage them to be more ethical in terms of how we consume the products, which is your social media. Have you seen the movie, documentary, where it's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
I think I've heard of it,
but it's really good because it talks about how social media affects from teenagers up to until high school kids, and it shows how people are addicted to it essentially because of how much dopamine it feeds on. The amount of information that we give to these technical companies is immeasurable. It's insane. So yeah, more regulations. That's what I'm calling.
Yeah, I agree with you with more regulations. And Josh, what do you think about it?
I mean,
has it damaged our society?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, people use it. People don't have to use it. I mean, I understand the whole dopamine thing, but I mean, I don't get that much of a rush off of it. I mean, I don't message people on it. Well, I only use social medias for messaging and keeping up with people, and I even don't do that properly. So, I mean, evidently it hasn't affected me, so there's going to be other people it hasn't affected. But the people who really get sucked into social media and get addicted to it, I mean, in some countries they've got places where young children and people can go off to a camp over summer.
Yeah.
Where they get told basically to remove technology as much and not use social media and that, which is quite which I think is quite a good idea. But overall, I think a song that I'm gonna reference is a Token. He made a song called One Like or something like that, and it was basically it's a song about how how the dopamine and how people can push on to do things that they never really wanted to do, purely in the goals of more likes. But I mean, social media was never really made for people to just chase likes in the first place.
Yeah. Can I also add on to Josh's point quickly? Basically, with the advent of social media, especially Twitter, my God.
Oh yeah.
Cancellation, man. You like cancellation? Do you like cancellation?
Yeah, but people just stop using it.
Yeah, and basically
people have just stopped using it. It's like Mini Minter from the Sidemen has gone off of Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people have taken massive hiatuses off of Twitter, especially simply because what they do is these, people that find these information about these celebrities, they dig out stuff that they said when they were 10. And obviously, the cancellation, there's a big massive thing in our culture where we idolise these celebrities, think that they're perfect, which in no way that they are. They got to where they are because they took many risks, and they just took many risks. And I feel like bringing up something that happened before in the past doesn't really necessarily mean that they do it now, if you know what I mean. If they were, let's say, said something offensive, but yeah, I feel like people just people condemn other people for something that they've done in the past that is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like it's really awful because most of the time it's career ruining, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, with and obviously it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a grey area at this point with terms of cancellation.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have, you know, an Emmerdale actress said something in the past, and they recently just found out what she actually said, and she just, you know, she's off Emmerdale now because of what she said in the past, and, you know, she said she, you know, regrets it, and that's, you know, that wasn't her back then, who she is now. Yeah. And it's ridiculous. I'm Solomon. What do you think?
Depends on the person who really I mean, like, in terms of negative wise, it depends on the people or the person who exploits the platform to create like a negative effect. I mean, you could go on, oh, I know it's kind of stereotype, but I mean, like, you can go on like Instagram and there could be something like really offensive put out by a person, and, you know, people are like, oh, this person said that, and everybody will be like, oh, F you, etc, etc. But ultimately there are other posts that are actually good, where they're talking about, oh, how to take care of yourself, or awareness, etc, etc. So there's no really one defined answer. I mean, it really does depend on the person who uses any specific kind of social media, because I mean, even with TV, there are multiple things on TV, whether good or bad, but, you know, you don't say that, oh, TV altogether is just horrible. Like,
yeah, I get what I mean. Yeah,
it's so broad, wide in terms of who uses it and who watches it and who takes it away, takes whatever message or negative or positive thing away from it. So it does depend on the people who use it. That's what I say.
Yeah, definitely, because I'm in the middle with this situation, because I get, you know, I agree when, you know, Jacky said that, you know, they need more regulations, because, you know, there's a lot of hate crime, bullying online, where, you know, social media companies will do something like a, you know, block their account, but then they can make another account.
Yeah.
And then they'll just do the same thing.
No, because there are ways around it, because obviously if people keep making accounts, eventually they might just block the IP and like things like that. So
then they can buy another phone, another that, and then do the same thing. So it's hard.
I mean, obviously it's virtually impossible to stop people from making more and more accounts, but I feel like it's more to do with, like, social media in and of itself isn't the problem. It's more to do with, like, cancel culture and things like that. Picking up tweets like I think Jack Maynard or whatever, when he was on I'm a Celebrity, is a good example where someone's picked up a tweet that he said like 10 years ago when he was like young and stupid, and then really just taken it and ran with it and ruined like and almost tried to ruin the idea of YouTubers in themselves, because it was one of the first times a YouTuber had really appeared on TV. So I mean, like, it's mostly with cancel culture and like the people who use it, but there'll always be trolls and there'll always be cancel culture as long as social media is around, and there's no way that there's a way around it.
Well, Katie Price has just recently put a petition up for the government to have all users verified in the UK. So I don't know how how that petition went, but hopefully they will do something. Okay, one thing I want to ask here is about bullying online, and the sources from the Office of National Statistics, and it says around 1 in 5 children aged 10 to 15 years in England and Wales, 19%, experienced at least one type of online bullying behaviour at the end of March of 2020. What do you think about that?
I think that figure isn't, obviously that figure's really sad, but it's not really a surprise at the same time, considering how many people have smartphones nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, when I first started, with our generation, everyone had a smartphone. It was basically normal, wasn't it? Everyone had iPhones, and obviously with my parents, they weren't very trustworthy with me having a phone, a good enough phone anyway, to buy. So they bought me a Nokia Lumia 520. Does anyone remember that? Nokia Lumias?
Yeah, the flip-up one.
No, not that old, man.
Oh,
same age, bro.
Is that the Nokia brick?
No.
Oh.
It's the one where it's like, you know what I'm
the
on,
first
Lumia.
Nokia smartphone.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh,
First
no.
one.
Yeah,
Those were actually
Got
really
one
good. It
that's
did its
kinda
job pretty much. And what I noticed is that people tend to rely on social media as a way of escapism, if you know what I mean. Like it really helped them with their confidence. People say, in terms of how they present themselves over it and the amount of likes they get.
Oh yeah, I think it depends on everybody's experience.
Yeah, exactly. It really depends because personally, I don't really use social media. I kind of just use it, message my friends, tell them where they are, and then we meet up at a point to see each other in real life. But with COVID, obviously, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now I feel like social media, like Solomon said, it's quite a broad spectrum, so you can't really just pinpoint. Oh, social media is bad. It depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You need more regulations.
Because when we were younger, we didn't have Snapchat, we didn't have, maybe Instagram, but it just was coming out.
MySpace.
The only thing I remember, were MySpace, Facebook, MSN, BlackBerry, Messenger. But now, the kids' generation now, like, this next generation, they've got a lot of, apps like TikTok, Snapchat. There's a lot.
Yeah, it becomes a norm.
It is like a generational thing. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I didn't get a phone until like I was like 12, 13. Like I was more to like doing other stuff. So like going outside, been drawing or
playing football.
Not really. I'm kind of rubbish at
Just
football.
look at Solomon. He does not
playing,
look like a footballer.
playing other sports like basketball, etc. Yes, stereotype. But yeah, it was more. It's more to the point where I found other stuff more enjoyable. And I mean, I heard that people had a phone, but obviously around that time, it was not how we have smartphones now.
Yeah.
It's not how we have social media now.
Yeah.
But I had an iPhone 4S in year 6,
Seriously?
Yeah,
I only got a phone when I was allowed to walk home from school with my sister, and I got given the bare minimum of a phone.
Really?
All I could do is make calls. In case there was an emergency walking home,
oh, bless him,
I
man.
could ring someone. That was it.
Mad.
But I had a phone when I was in primary school, actually. Because most of you had this phone when you was in secondary school. But I had a phone when I was like watching Mickey Mouse on the telly, in the them box screen tellies what we used to have. I used to
CRT. Oh my god, damn.
But and one thing I just want to say, this is a source from Statista. Social media users number in the UK 50.89 million users in the UK have a social media account, and users on Facebook are 43.4 million, and that was in 2020. And Instagram is 30.36 million. Is this a lot of people have social media now?
It becomes the norm. I feel like it's normal to have these accounts and to actually actively use them. But I think there needs to be more education around these sorts of social media accounts that you have. It comes down to parenting to begin with, because my parents they don't really understand the significance of it as much.
2 minutes.
But yeah, thanks for that.
But if you have experienced online bullying, there are helplines out there for you to contact, and they'll be on our website. Now moving on to the next segment of our show, it's time to play Loose Mandem Does Charades. In this game, each of the panelists will take in turns to place their phone on top of their foreheads, and then the other panelists, including me, will have to either give a clue, or say yes or no to the person who is guessing what word it is on their phone. If they guess correctly, they will get 1 point, and if they pass or get it wrong, they will not be awarded a point. So guys, are you ready?
Hell yes.
No, what mode are we doing?
Right, is it a quick play?
We're doing it on.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Movies?
You can
Act it out too. Accents and impression.
Oh, hell,
Alright, which category want to go for?
We'll do movies, why not?
Right,
movies,
let's do
yeah.
movies.
Oh, so can we do accents and impressions?
Quick.
On a movie, which one? Movies.
Let's do movies.
Movies, yeah.
Right, Sal, do you want to go first?
Okay, hold on. Place on forehead. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Get ready.
And guys, you'll see this at home before us anyway.
Corporate setting. Imagine that you're in a corporate setting. You're one of those lowish people. You just started. You're an analyst.
What?
No, listen, I'm just giving you this scenario.
Okay.
Man at the top's not very nice.
I tell you what to do. You have no breaks.
A horrible boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is that right?
I am Wait.
Skynet.
Oh,
Skynet.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swim. I swim. I swim.
Jaws?
Some of the swims
No,
in
no,
the
no,
ocean
no.
that you can
I have-
also fight with.
I have a literal.
Sword? What? Sword?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also
But
It's
I swim as well.
You stab people with it.
I
but it swims.
Sword, right?
Yeah.
What's the
and
other
it
word? I
swims in
swim.
the water.
I swim.
And you swim. It's like
It's
Nemo's
animal.
It's
animal.
a fish, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Combine
put
the
them
word.
together, you want
Combine
it.
the
I
word.
said swordfish.
Yeah,
There we
got
go.
it.
No, you said it.
Flipping heck. All right.
Right.
You've run out of time, bro.
Right.
All right. Go.
Solomon, right. Josh, are you ready?
Yes.
Solomon,
Wait,
hopefully we'll
am I going to have to
commentate
move
after.
back?
Believe in you. Let's go. Right. Let's have a look. Get ready. What? I don't know this. Nope. I don't know this. Sorry.
Pass, forget it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more.
T-Birds.
Greece.
Yes.
Umbrella.
Yes.
Umbrella is a movie played by John Krasinski's
She's a lady and
wife.
she comes down.
Supercalifragilistic.
Oh,
It's a bit
Mary
hard.
Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that down?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
No, you got rid of it.
Oh,
Ah, that's 1 point for you,
Right,
buddy.
mate,
Jackie's
I got
there.
one.
got two.
So I'm drawing with
You got two.
Right. I'm gonna be horrible
Right,
at
go on,
this.
go on then.
Got two and then push the button.
Not very thingy.
Oh, it's Studio. Is it like a Studio Ghibli?
Oh, Studio Ghibli.
Is it?
You passed it.
It's past now.
All right. What's this one then?
It's not going up yet.
I thought you said it passed
And
it.
that's the
Just
answer.
do that again. Oh, it's,
You told me to do it. So
I know. Oh.
Bridegroom, Donald Trump's country.
America.
Let me see.
United States of America.
What do you call a person that's from
From-
USA?
American citizen.
No, but there's a bride and a
Gets
groom.
married and gets married.
Pass. Right.
Oh gosh.
Pass it.
Pass.
Okay.
I'm not telling you the truth,
Let me see.
but I am.
Deceit.
Yeah,
Liar.
I would have.
and maybe
Pass.
Wow.
Come on, man. You're not helping, boys.
Time's
Time's
up.
Oh, well, Jack,
Nice.
we run out of time.
I
Sorry.
beat him and I went
That's
off
it,
halfway through.
Well, that is it, everyone. We have run out of time. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks to Sol, Jackie, and Josh for joining me on today's show. Do not forget to like, share, comment on any of our posts on our socials, which are on your screen right now. And don't forget, this is what I'm going to say. And don't forget.
Wait, it's not working.
And don't forget, this is what I'm going to say to you right now. Remember to tell over Mandem and Galdem about Loose Mandem. We will see you on Friday at 7.